So welcome to the midway point of the 2047 season. We've just finished our cup game in June, so we are going to recap the start of the season domestically, and then in the next episode it will be the transfer special. I'm off work sick at the minute, so there will be a lot of jump cuts in this as I cough like crazy. It's not corona. I'm probably demonetised for saying that word alone, but it's not. I say it's not. I've not tested. It might be. The sun is absolutely beaming down today. So just a heads up, if I look very shaded, it's because my camera can't adjust to it. I'm looking for a new camera for FM23. I'm going to put a proper DSLR so I can zoom and all that jazz. Let me know how you thought the the video before went, when I did a lot of zooms and edits in the start, just to try to attract you all in. So yeah, we're going to start with the best wonder kids in football for 2047, and we have 7th place McDowell. So in the top 10 we have a player. We have a player in the top 10. Now bear in mind that he joined us last year, halfway through last season, which means we've actually built towards this achievement of 7th. Yes, claiming credit. Thank you very, very much. Good job, me. Pat on the back. Told you there'd be jump cuts. Coughing my guts up. Trying to get my webcam set up. We've flipped my desk around. Because I do have some news to reveal at some point in this year for you guys, and you guys who are deep into this series, I will share it with you in the community section at some point. But we flipped my desk around in the living room to make more space, because space is what we all need according to the boss, the wife. So we won the Super Cup after a 0-0 ball draw against KI. They scored 3 penalties, we scored all 5. And it was a very, very strange Super Cup, because you'll see here and there and there, I'm professional. You will see we absolutely dominated, but we just couldn't put the ball in the back of the net, which was very frustrating. Now you see Mufasa. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. Take a pause. Okay. Miscellaneous. Set nickname. Mufasa. Also, he's not called Ricard anymore. He's just called Mufasa. Was there anybody else who we struggle with? Mark Quadson. Keelstrip. That one I can do. Gonzalez, Sterler, McDowell, Michan, Midskugen, Mufasa, Otterson, Henriksen, Hansen, Solheim, Hjelle, Orlander, yep, Littleskare, Nolsur. Now, that's correct. One of the names I'm going to adjust is this English one, because it's such rare. Right. He's now called, set nickname, his first name was Che. Right. Just stop messing around. Stop trying to be more complex. Nylander. Okay. This guy. Now, he is Norwegian, so I can say Sixten Furseth Amundsen, as soon as I live in the country. But 16. We're going to call him 16, okay? We know who it is. Wait till the next episode when I've sold him and the nickname actually now means nothing. So in terms of the cup, we won the second round. First round we entered 7-0, beating B71's B team, and our B team won 3-0 over Surovoy. Wish I could. Can I nickname them? No, I can't nickname them. Damn it. In the third round, our B team have gone out on penalties to EB, where we have just knocked out battling promotion title challengers KI 5-0 with my Quadson, Midskugen, McDowell and Mustafa. Now I'm calling him his actual name. Mufasa and Hjelle on the score sheet. Hjelle just come back from injury as well, actually. I just have a lot of hope he can develop into a very good winger. But he's just been picking up a few injuries recently, but hopefully he comes back now, especially with Midskogen now at the age of 31. It is nice how we've got this 22-year-old Hjelle coming through, who we obviously picked up last season. And yeah, just see how he develops. Now, in terms of the league, if we look at it like this, so you joined, the last episode was just before this, we have, we've scored some goals this season. So we start with an 8-0 win, 2-1, 10-0 and 4-0. So 1 goal conceded in March before the Super Cup final, before 6-0, 1-0, 5-1 to EB, 4-0 over KI, 7-0 in the Cup, 5-0, 4-0. So again, 1 goal conceded in April. And then 1 goal now conceded in May, as we got a 1-0 over Vesta, Vikingur to 2-1, before 5-0, 4-0, 5-0, and then we've just beat KI in the Cup 5-0 as well. So that leaves us top with played 15, won 15. Top goal scorer is Mufasa with 25 goals. Now, when the season started, Little Scarrow was still number 1. And the plan was to give Mufasa some game time and just see how he does. And in the first game of the season, he scored 4 goals, then had a game without anything, before then scoring 5 goals in the game after that. So he had 9 goals in the first 3 games, then got a couple, had a game off where he didn't score, nobody scored, that was the cup final, before 2, 1, 1, 2, and then 4. He's just been insane. Came off here, didn't score, then got a hat-trick against HB, obviously scored 4 against them earlier in the season, so that's 7 against HB this season. Not against Vesta and Vikingur, but they were really tight games, before getting 3 against Suroy. It's such a mouthful, that name. Wish they'd got relegated to like 3rd tier, so we never had to look at that name. Before scoring 1, 1, and then 1 again. To leave him at the minute, in all competitions, he has 19 starts, 6 sub appearances, 32 goals. With 15 starts in the league, 25 goals. But when you look at his attributes, potentially the best 3.7 million we've spent. Potentially. Perfectionist personality. Working on his agility and his balance, because his balance was a 10, and that's what I wanted to improve, because when he's turning, he's on the move, etc., we needed to get that up, but he is just a class above. As well as him getting into double figures with 30 in all competitions, McDowell also has 11 in all competitions as well, with Midskogen on 9. So Midskogen as well, even at the age of 31, which yes isn't old, I get that, but is really still stepping up there. In terms of assists, we have nobody in double figures, but Midskogen's on 9, Kielstrup is on 8, Sturla on 7, and then 2 people, McDowell and Dolner, both the English lads down the right hand side, both on 6. Now Otterson has been injured, so that's why he's been on the bench, and Nan Talon has been playing some games. What I love now is the fact that Nan Talon is easily a first choice keeper, easily, yet he's back up at the minute to Otterson. So we've got 2 top keepers now, where I've always had 1 good keeper and 1 decent keeper. We look really good. I've picked up a few transfers, which we'll look at in the next episode, who I think as well just will add that depth to this squad, and we really will start to look solid. I've had a lot of players playing for our B team in the first half of the season. They will all come off B team duty for the second half of the season, because when we have continental games in between, I don't want them playing for the B team. I want them fit for the league games for us, so we can rest our best players for them Champions League nights, which I hope we can get to the group stage again. In terms of how our B team has started the season, 1-12, drew none, lost 1, so they have lost 1 game. That was against B36, who are pushing them close, only 3 points off at the minute. Thorsby, the young Norwegian central mid, is actually the top goal scorer in the league, and he's developing nicely. He's developing how I hoped he would. And I think long term, he definitely looks like a player who could step up into that first team position, 100%. Really do think he looks like a good player. Jamie Allen's been playing a lot for the B team as well. If you remember, this is definitely a signing which has been brought in with the intention to move him on. 6 games for our B team, 12 goals. He's only played 4 games in his career for our first team, which shows he's not a regular player, but he is wanted by Huddersfield and Leeds. We paid nothing, valued up to 4 million. So again, this is the ability to flip players and make profit, and that's why I'm looking to do. We do have a Welsh player coming in on a free transfer in the summer. So I would not be shocked if he replaces Allen as that foreign player and Allen moves on. So we're not adding foreign players to the squad. We're just cashing in on him, making maybe 4 million profit, bringing in another player on a free transfer, which again in a year's time we might move on. It's a nice little side project I've got going. Now, one thing I would mention is our B team is looking very, very short of players. So I do plan on maybe picking up 4 or 5 young 16-year-old players to come in and just fill our under 18 side a bit of depth to them. They are still doing well. 1-8, drew 1, lost 3, 5 points clear. But I think it's important that we keep developing players. And if I'm bringing some 16-year-old Danish who maybe don't have a club going into July, then maybe we can pick them up and, just keep adding depth to the club. A lot of players from Denmark, Sweden, Iceland, England, anywhere, don't want to come until they hit that 18. When they hit 18, it goes from training to playing time, which can influence a player. And that's when they're willing to sign. But if they don't have a club, then they'll be willing to come. So I'm going to look for free transfers throughout June and July who are at the age of 16, 17, who, even if they just have average ability, just to come in and add some depth to our youth team, because long term it's important, but also then them players will stay in the league and they'll end up going to another club within our league structure. Financially then, we are in a very strong position. 121 million, 11.4 million in profit this season, and we have just got a big income last month, I think it was, or was it this month it'll be registered, of the prize money from the Champions League, because the Champions League final's just been played. All Spanish final, Barcelona versus Real Betis. Again, going into future series, I do want to make sure I am updating you on the whole universe in these episodes, especially if we're doing 4 episodes a season. This kind of recap episode, we can look at who won the Champions League, etc, etc. So that is something I do want to try to improve. I need to fix. Now I've moved, my green screen keeps popping, you see. So I think I'm going to design something to cover up here and here. Because you can see I've actually got something here. You see where my finger disappears. I've got a black box there to stop this corner of the green screen showing. I think I need to move that along just a little bit. So apologies for that if I've been talking for a while with that bouncing. But yeah, I think that's pretty much where we are. That money there has kept us in profit for the first half of the season, because obviously in the first half of the season we are losing money each month because our expenditure is so much higher than the income. But when we get Champions League games, when we get the income from the Champions League transfers, that's when we do make profit, and that's why last season, for example, was 12 million profit. This season, I think we need to look at making profit as well. Estimated as 4.49 profit at the end of the period. We obviously allowed up to 4.3 negative, but I don't think we'll be close to that. Honestly, I think we might get closer to 30 million profit. One thing I do want to mention, in terms of players who might leave, Dolner has been linked with a few clubs. We paid 14 million for him. 15 clubs want him now, valued at 29 million. So we might end up having to let him go for around the 30 million. Now, I do have another English right back coming in from Arsenal, 18 years old. So it might be a straight swap out if we do end up losing him. 30 million is the type of money I think we just have to accept. I did come to the agreement with him because he said, please let me go if a reasonable bid comes in. He's not complained. He has been alright. He has been alright, but as you see, he has been insured. If a bid of 29 million comes in, we will let him go. Clubs are coming in for Mark Watson, but I do want to try to hold on to him unless somebody offers me about 100 million. He does have 3 years left on his contract, so I do think I will just put my foot down, just refuse to sell. But apart from that, nobody's really been wanted. Mufasa recently, but I think I can fight off the interest for him, because he has a 3-year deal left, but he also does have a 3-year extension. So I think I'm just going to put my foot down with him and just constantly keep refusing to negotiate or accept deals which come in. But yeah, that's the halfway point of the season. Hopefully you are still enjoying this series. I'm loving recording. I'm loving playing it. Like, there's times where I almost think, shit, I need to stop and record a video because I'm absolutely loving playing it. But thank you for watching. I've been Paul, also known as the Northman. Stay safe, comment something, and I'll see you next time.